Hi guys, today I have a shoe haul. I did mention in my last haul that there was going to be another video on some shoes that I'd bought, and since then I made a rather large impulse purchase. I say there was I say they were an impulse purchase. They weren't really, in that I'd had my eye on them for ages and ages, and I was told that they were not going to be in stock till autumn, and so I'd kind of like forgotten about them and thought I'll wait until then and look again. And then I found them yesterday when we were in Selfridges in London, and I was like, I had to have them. So we'll talk about those next, but I'll talk about the first ones first of all, the ones that the initial video was going to be about, and they are these Sarah Jessica Parker shoes. I am going to be all over this range when we go to Vegas because there's a Nordstrom's there where she exclusively stocks in the US. We don't have them in England yet. I believe they've just gone to Dubai, but I'm really excited about trying on some different styles of her shoes. I found you can get Nordstrom to deliver to the UK, which is what I did, but I find that they're a little bit more expensive. I think that I'll still get a better deal buying them in the US. I have my eye on the Carrie shoes, which are beautiful, and obviously I want them because they're called Carrie, because it's the Sex and the City connection, but these ones I'd seen her wear in loads of different Instagram pictures, and I just thought they were so beautiful and so wearable, so just kind of every day. They're called the Alyssa. They actually came like this, completely not stuffed, no information, no padding, no nothing, which was a little bit disappointing, but I think it's because they were in the sale. If you look at the inside of the box, I'll show you, it's kind of worn, it's got marks on the inside, and I think they were probably the last pair they had to send, so, you know, okay, they were on sale, so I'll make my peace. I think I got them for around, I want to say they were like, I don't know if they were $60 some or £60 some. I bought them at the end of January, or they arrived at the end of January, so it was a little while ago that I ordered them, and I had to wait obviously for them to be delivered. But I think they, regardless, they were massively reduced, like 50% or so off. And they did them in a plum colour as well. I don't know if these are going to be seasonal, I don't know if these are going to be available right now, but if they are, I'll link them below. But I would imagine this is kind of more of an autumn winter shoe. So yeah, this is the Alyssa. They're kind of like a peep toe booty, if you can see, if I can show you, because you can't really see on camera. There you go. It's just a very, very, very slight peep toe. This leather is insanely soft, like you can just collapse the shoe completely. There's no structure to it whatsoever. So from putting them on straight away, they were immediately comfortable. The inside is just, it's just so soft. I have to say I wore them for an entire day walking around London, and they were crippling me by the end of the day, but I walked a lot before they started to hurt. This part of my foot, like the support, was great. The only time they actually started to hurt me, as I remember, was just kind of just here. They were rubbing around my toe, and then obviously the ball of my foot because they are really quite high. But I would never normally choose to walk around London in a pair of shoes, and I think that bearing in mind they were the first time I'd worn them as well, I probably was slightly too, not adventurous. What do I mean? What's the word I mean? It'll come to me. But I was like expecting too much, let's say, because they were so comfortable when I first put them on. These are definitely not major walking shoes, but if I was kind of walking around for a few hours, I wouldn't have a problem wearing these, whereas maybe other high heels I would. So yeah, really, really, really happy with these. I'll definitely be trying some more when we go to America next month. But yeah, they go with so many things. They're just almost like boots, but they're still shoes. And the fact that they've got this kind of wrap design, I love them so much. And all the pictures you see of SJP doing, like, we're promoting the line, and when she's kind of out and about, she's wearing those shoes so often, and that's kind of what instilled confidence in me, that they would be more comfortable than the rest. So I really, really like those. Like I say, if I can find them, I'll link them below. I bought them in a 38. They are also, I just want to mention, they're made in Italy, which I really like, because obviously a lot of celeb shoes, let alone, or American shoes, let alone celeb shoes, are not made in Italy, but she kind of went to painstaking lengths to get the right manufacturer and all that stuff, and she wanted them to be Italian-made shoes. And the base of the shoe is very, very soft. These are the same as kind of Jimmy Choos and stuff, very, very, very thin. All of the shoes that she makes, nothing's got a platform, it's just a single sole, and it's like very, very delicate sole. I almost didn't want to walk around in them. Even in the house they got marks, so that's something to bear in mind. But yeah, I really love them, and they have these grosgrain striped ribbons on the back, which is like a signature of hers as well. which if you know anything or if you've read anything about her shoe line, you will know about. But yeah, completely love those, and if I can find a link, I will link them below. At very least, I will link the line at Nordstrom, because you'll just be there all day looking at things. So, on to my exciting purchase that I made yesterday. This is kind of I've been wearing these shoes all morning because it's kind of a wearing in period, and when I bought them, I did ask what the kind of exchange period was because I wasn't entirely sure that I'd bought the right size. So if you guys have bought a pair of shoes like these or can offer any advice, I would love to hear it. But they are some of these. Oh, it was a moment in the shop when you hand over your card and you're like, oh my god. But I was prepared to pay for these shoes a month or so ago, and so I've been kind of waiting for them to come back in stock, and they were back in stock earlier than I thought. I'd actually thought that I might buy them in America next month, because this particular style, I'd been told by the UK customer service, was away for the summer, but in the US apparently this is something that you can get year round. So, and I noticed that's because obviously across the US you get different kinds of climates and stuff, but I don't know. So I was kind of toying with the idea of waiting and getting them in the US next month, but they are about £100 more expensive between the exchange rate, the fact that they are imported to the United States and so they are more expensive there, and the sales tax. They're around £100 more expensive, and so I had to buy them when I saw them. They are these. They're called the Ron Ron. I was torn between a few different pairs. I really like the So Kate. But I think that the 120mm heel was just too much for me. I wanted something that I really thought I could wear all the time. And so I wanted the 100mm heel. So then I was looking at the Pigalle. I like the pointy toe, but it's not of the moment, it's still kind of classic. But I feel like you can get so many of them. Like, you can go anywhere on the high street and buy a pair that look almost identical. Whereas the round toe, I think, for me, is a little bit more classic, a little bit less seen. And hopefully more comfortable. I hear that the Ron Ron is one of the most comfortable shoes. The Pigalles were a little bit too wide here, like there wasn't enough coverage for the sides of my feet for them to be comfortable. Also, the heel is considerably thinner, and I love the profile of these. I think they look so sleek and they're just beautiful. So I've been looking for these specific shoes for quite a while. When I say specific, I mean the black suede. That's what was going out of stock for summertime. I get that, you know, it's quite a seasonal thing, black suede. Lots of people say don't buy suede because it's so difficult to look after. But I just think they look more expensive. I think they look like a luxury shoe in black suede, whereas if you get them in leather, I've seen them and they look nice, but they're just kind of they're a black leather shoe to me. I like the patent nude ones. They are appealing to me as well, but there's just something about the black suede that I always knew if I was going to buy a black pump from there, it would have to be the black suede, and I wasn't going to kind of compromise and get the other one just because I wasn't going to be able to get the suede. I really wanted to hold out, so when I saw that they had my size, I had to try them on. Now my size would be a 38, that's what I got in the SJP ones. By the way, they are almost too big, they're almost probably maybe like a half a size too big, so when I went in and tried these, I tried them in a 38, which is a 5. Or I don't really understand in the US how that works. I thought a 38 was a 5, was a 7 in the States. But now I think, I read different things all the time saying that a 7 equates to different sizes in the EU. So I'm not sure. If you guys know, let me know. Because I thought I was a 7 in America, but maybe I'm not. But yeah, I'm a 38 and these are a 37.5. Now I'd been walking around London all day and it was not the most optimum time to try on shoes. My feet are obviously swollen and I wasn't planning on trying on shoes, I just kind of happened to find them. And so I tried on my size and they were a little bit tight, but I thought, well, probably they'll kind of be the right size for me when my feet aren't swollen, I've not been walking around all day. And then the sales assistant suggested / encouraged me to get the size a half smaller. Now, I had no idea that my feet are two completely different sizes. I swear, my left foot is at least a half a size bigger than my right foot, because my toes on my left foot really struggle in the 37.5, whereas my toes on my right foot are fine. They're not the most comfortable to walk in, and they are still small, they're very, very tight, but the reason that she encouraged me to get the smaller size was because they stretch. And I've read lots of things online. Some people say Some stretch different to others, like the patent apparently stretch a lot less, or they take a lot longer to stretch than the other ones. The normal leather are kind of normal, whereas suede apparently stretches loads. I think it all kind of depends on the person from what I've read, because some people say that suede takes ages to stretch, so I don't know. But she told me that because I was getting the suede, we were talking one wear and they would stretch out, whereas the other ones were talking 5 or 6 wears. And that it's very, very difficult once a shoe is too big for you to actually get them to fit again, which I'll come to in a second, because I have another pair which I was hoping she would be able to help me make fit, and now I'm kind of thinking maybe not. But yeah, anyway, babbling. She got me to get the 37.5, and I've been wearing them around this morning, and I'm kind of in two minds as to whether or not I should take them back, because they are very, very tight. So if you guys have, even if it's not this particular shoe or this particular brand, if you have any suede shoes, let me know how you feel about stretching, because I have another pair that are not suede, and this is hilarious because this shoe purchase is inspired by a pair of shoes that I bought from Primark about 5 years ago that were my absolute favourite shoes. They were a round toe pump, just like these, and within a year they were so big I couldn't wear them anymore. Now they weren't obviously real suede, but I always thought if I bought a real classic pair of designer shoes it would be exactly like those, and these were the first ones that I ever found a few years ago, and this was kind of, it all came back to these like £12 pair of shoes that I bought. Which in truth I would buy again and again if they were available. But anyway, they stretched a lot to the point of not being able to wear them. So I'm wondering whether or not I should persevere with the half a size smaller and hope for the best, because I don't want them ever to get to the point where they're too big for me. So any advice you have, anywhere you think I should check, I already kind of look daily on Purse Blog Forum. That's kind of my advice. But yeah, I'm not sure. Now, those of you that watched me for a little while may remember I made my very first Louboutin purchase last June, and it was a serious impulse purchase. I was not intending on spending that kind of money on shoes at that point, and I did, and I have never worn them. And that's for 2 reasons. One, look at them. They're not exactly a classic everyday pair of shoes. They are, I can't even get, there's a little fluff on this. They are kind of insane. They don't really go with anything that I wear. In the moment when I purchased them, I justified them in various different ways, one of which was that I was intending on renewing my vows in Vegas, which is something we're still maybe thinking about, but I don't know. I think I maybe would like to do that in the future, when we've been married for a little bit longer, when it's kind of a bit of an important date, like an anniversary or something. But anyway, that was kind of part of the reason that I justified them. They were on sale. They were still really expensive. They were reduced from £545 to £330. And I didn't tell you, the other ones cost £425, which is basically the base price for Louboutin shoes now. So any kind of basic classic style, with none of the kind of fancy skins or anything like that, are £425, which I know is insane. But yeah, I bought these, and again, I knew the base price of them, and I was looking at this like, oh my god, they're only £330. I had a moment of madness, and they are these shoes that are very difficult to kind of work into an outfit. But I had in my mind that I would wear them with these various different outfits, and especially in Vegas. But I think that even though they are insane and they're not me at all, I would still wear them with kind of like jeans and a t-shirt and these would be the kind of statement thing. And I still so love these shoes, but they're too big. That's the main problem. These are a 38.5, which is a full size bigger than the other shoes. It does vary style to style, but I've never ever, I mean, I've still got the sticker on the bottom. They've never been worn, and I've had them since June. And I wasn't specifically saving them for Vegas, but I have tried them on a few times when I've been going out, and I just couldn't, my foot slips out of them straight away, and that's before I've even been wearing them. They haven't been worn in, that's just how they feel. And again, when I purchased them, I'd been walking around all day, and my feet were obviously a little bit swollen, and so I thought that they fit like a glove, and they really, really didn't. So when I went to purchase the other ones, I was hoping that she would be full of information as to how I could make these fit. Because I've seen people put kind of things, heel grips in the back to make them fit and stuff, and she was basically saying once they don't fit anymore, no matter what you do, they're never really going to fit properly. And given that I have never worn these and they're brand new, and I now have the classic pair that I've always wanted, I'm tempted to sell these. So I don't know, I'm kind of in two minds about that one. let me know if you think that these are worth keeping. I love them. I've walked around the house in them many an hour. They're so pretty, but I think for what they are, I'm not going to get enough use out of them. It's just so beautiful. I don't know, for nostalgia's sake, I kind of want to keep them because they were the first pair. Someone on Instagram suggested I should keep them for Ella, if she ever wanted to get married in them. It depends, they're a little bit gaudy, they're not going to be to everybody's taste. That might not be what she's into. Don't want to push that on her, but yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think, because I don't have to sell them, but I feel like keeping them when I now have another pair that I really love and feel like I'll wear all the time, providing they fit me well, is a little bit extravagant, since I don't really need them for ornamental purposes. So yeah, let me know what you think. Those are the Vendome, by the way. They were a limited edition glitter, but they're the Vendome shape or style or whatever, the peep toe, if you are interested. And they are a 120 heel, so they're insane. Plus they're a platform, and I actually I find it quite difficult to walk on a platform, like teetery, because you're kind of on stilts almost, and then it's a very high heel, but I don't know. I just don't know. So you guys tell me what you think. We'll have a little vote. I do also quickly want to address, someone mentioned in my last haul, or they asked, and sometimes I'll get a question like this and you never know whether or not it's like a genuine question, like someone's just really, really interested, or whether or not it's a real judgy comment. But someone asked something along the lines of how I can afford to spend so much money on myself when I have children. Now, I just want to address the fact that when you have children, that shouldn't affect your spending habits whatsoever. At all. Like that, the fact that you have children, obviously you have to look after them and clothe them and make sure they have everything they need, and to an extent everything that they want, but I don't think that all of a sudden you should never spend any money on yourself. That really irritates me when people say, oh, if you've got children, X, Y, Z. Now I have 2 jobs. Whether or not you want to consider blogging and YouTube a job is up to you, but it's 2 incomes. And I do work as well outside of this. I have an actual office job. Either of those jobs could pay my bills, and so I then have an extra income to spend on what I want to spend that on. I can save it, which I do. I can spend it on holidays, I can spend it on whatever I want to spend it on. But yeah, no one is going without. I'm not like destitute. I'm not killing myself in credit card debt. I'm not doing anything like that. I had the cash to spend on these things, and you guys tend to ask or want me to do hauls. If any of you are unhappy with hauls, then please feel free not to watch them, or to tell me that you're unhappy with hauls, but don't kind of think that, well, I don't even know what she thought. I don't know. I feel like in a normal, everyday situation, you would never ever ask someone on the street, or even a friend, how they could afford to do something. We all have these moments where we think, like people put on Instagram that they've bought these extravagant things, and I think, how did you afford that? And it's more of a, tell me, I want to be able to afford that. But I would never say it because it just comes across as really rude. But for those of you that were wondering, I just kind of wanted to answer the question. I have 2 jobs, and so that's how I can afford it. That's how I can afford to spend money on myself. My husband is not a millionaire. My husband doesn't pay for any of my things. I buy them for myself, and all my bills are paid on time. So don't worry about me. But yeah, maybe I'll sell these and buy another pair. But let me know what you think. Sorry it's been a really long one. I thought this was going to be really short. I have a cup of tea waiting for me downstairs. It's going to be super cold right now. But yeah, I was kind of like, and especially with the other shoes, whether or not they're going to stretch out or not, I'm so nervous to keep them and then not be able to wear them for the same reason that I've got these now. But yeah, I don't know. So anyway, long rambly video about shoes, and I'll be back with hopefully a beauty box video very, very soon. I've kind of dropped the ball with those a little bit recently, but I will be back soon with maybe the Parisian box, or whatever that's called, my little box. So yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!